Hello everyone. It's been quite a few months since I have done a video, although I have been thinking a lot about making videos. I am here today to share a flip through of the new version of the 2025 Unearthing Your Gifts Creativity Journal that I usually print and sell around this time. And I also wanted to do a brief flip through of my journal from this year. As you can see, it is well loved. We are in October. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do a brief flip through of this one is to show you how you can use the new version. And I'll also contrast, compare and contrast some of the things that are different. So I guess maybe first I can talk about the new version. I have two different sizes and book bindings available. This one, the coil bound version, is the most popular one, and I just wanted to see how the paperback US letter size would look. I also changed the paper on next year's journal. I chose a heavier weight, so the paper's a bit thicker. So let's see, maybe we can do a flip through. Many of the things from this year's journal are still here. One difference is that I have included a lot more pages for you to take notes and write and journal in more. I think also the fonts are different, but it still has very similar things, starting with the new moon phenology wheel, a space for you to take notes about your how the moon is affecting you or how you are working with the moon. One of the different things for this year, for next year, is that there are 12 practices, one for each month, and the practices are meant to help guide you on learning, getting to know yourself, developing a relationship with yourself, and discovering what gifts you have to offer your community. So each month features a different practice. The monthly communing with the muse is still here with extra notes pages. The monthly allies and symbols page is still here, as well as the daily tracker. There's extra space for your notes on the Temple of the Imaginal. This is where you write down dreams that you've had, other like images that are coming up for you that speak to you, poems, at times when you feel like you have an intuition about something. All of that can go here. 2 pages is still not a lot, but it's more than last year's. The weekly check-ins are still here. Next year I want to provide more resources for how to work with these 2 pages, because I do work with them a lot, and I've heard feedback from a few people that they don't work with them that much. So I want to see if I can provide some assistance. So there's the weekly check-in pages. There's a space for you to do a bigger creative interpretation, and then a couple of more pages for you to do a creative reflection at the end of the month. So there's 12 months here. Each of the months looks similar to the one I just flipped through. For the bigger version, it's also the same pages. It's just more space for you to draw and journal. So I know some people might like that, which is why I made it available. This one also has the same thicker paper. Yeah, so this is what that 8.5 by 11 looks like. So now let me show you just a few of the ways that you can use it. I doodle a lot on my journal. So I'll just draw, like, flowers are one of my main things that I like to draw, but sometimes these little like marks will come up, like this circle, concentric circles, but not like kind of like sloppy concentric circles. this was like my vision for the year. It's a flower with a spiral, and it has a very important quote that I started my year with by Rainier Maria Rioja. I'm not going to read it because I wrote it in a circle, so then I have to turn, but I'll see if I can paste it in the description. I just a few days ago did my self-portrait. Before, I used to have a page for self-portraits in every month, but that got to be a bit much, so I decided to do just one self-portrait for the year. And this can be a picture that you take. I was practicing drawing faces, so I just drew this face. You could also do more abstract, like an abstract self-portrait that represents something about you. This is what the new moon phenology wheel can look like for you. I usually divide it in 4, and I'll just draw something that represents like the energy that I'm feeling during that moon phase. Sometimes if I don't have like an image to use, I'll just write like journal, like a little bit of a description of what is going on. Then there's also this space to journal about how what's happening in your life right now. Each of the pages for the new moon has space to write down your intentions. And in other months, sometimes I would forget to write the sentence down, but that's also part of the how to work with the moon, like setting your intentions at the beginning of the moon cycle, or at the beginning of the month, and checking in with yourself to see where you're at and bringing that intention into reality throughout the moon cycle. There's also the monthly communing with the muse spread, which is also in the new journal. And this one is a place for you to pull some cards for yourself. One of the prompts is a message from the muse, and then the other 3 prompts is how to take creative action this month. So they can also tie back to your intention for the new moon, and use these actions to support that. The tracker, sometimes I try to track like when I was posting on different places that I wanted to post. Other times I was tracking whether I was writing 10 minutes a day. So you could track anything you want on these trackers, obviously. The monthly allies and symbols page is just a place for you. If you work with crystals, you would write down like which crystal you're working with, and you can add some notes at the end of the month or as you're working with it. If there's a plant ally that you're connecting with, and then also space for animal allies that maybe are coming into your awareness. Sometimes for me, these are like animals that I've seen out in the street or in close to where I live. As I mentioned in the Temple of the Imagino, this is a spot for you to either jot down some notes about cards that you're pulling for yourself, or expand on the animals that you're working with, capture dreams that you had, things like that. So the weekly check-in, it has a box for jotting down something that you're grateful for, as well as a box for you to write down how you will nurture your creativity, and also a place for you to capture what you're curious about. I usually will paste like stickers, stickers from a sticker book. Sometimes I'll doodle, sometimes I'll draw like a few flowers or any other image. Let me see if I have a good one. See, like I'll draw flowers, paste some collage paper. It's your journal. You can decorate it however you want. The other thing about the weekly check-in is it has this space for you to write down different notes, ideas, and observations of things that are coming up for you. This page has spots for you to write down maybe like books that you're reading, or things that you're doing, or things you want to do this week. Something that's different for the 2025 journal is that for the weekly check-ins, instead of having like this box, which turned out to not be like the best dotted box because the dots were too bright or too bold and it was hard to see what I was writing. And then this, there was some dotted, like a dotted grid here, but it was too small. So instead I just left these two and switched, am I still in the frame? And added lines for you to journal about how your week is going. So this can be like end of the week reflection, which used to be an extra page in the old 2023 journal. But yeah, so this is how I use my weekly check-in. I usually try to do it on Sunday night, but sometimes I'll take some time Monday morning to fill out these things and then check in with it throughout the week, not every day, but if I'm reading a new thing or if there's something that I watched that is informing something that I was curious about, I'll come in and jot down some notes. So yeah, let me show you a couple more of the moon phenology wheels, because I think that might be another area that feels a little like, oh, I don't know what to do with that spot. So sometimes, like I said, it can be very simple. Like at this time, I probably felt like that tangle of lines. Sometimes I just simple flowers. It's just a way for you to build your image vocabulary. Yeah, so it can be simple. It doesn't have to be complex. I do like dividing it in four and checking in with myself at every phase and writing or drawing something to represent what is happening. They also, the journals have a end of the month creative interpretation and reflection page. So this is an example of one I did in May. Now you have a 2-page spread for the creative interpretation and 2 pages for the writing part. Here's another new moon or moon phenology wheel. Let's see. And here is the July one. My 2-year-old got to this page and he was also doing his art. Let's see. Yeah, so I think on this one I didn't even draw anything. I just let my son doodle. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas for how you can use this journal. If you would like to pre-order a copy, I will put the link in the description box. I will probably not have many journals available after the pre-order, so only selling them through a pre-order right now. So if you would like to get one, please make sure to click on the link on the bottom. And thank you so much for joining me today for this video.